Why are you playing The Sims?
Huh?
Why are you playing The Sims?
Just to give me something to do while I talk instead of just sit here.
I'm gonna leave that in.
Oh,
Well, welcome back to the Kayfabe Lad. This is going to be a recap and review of Bad Blood um, that happened in Atlanta, begrudgingly because we wanted to be there and couldn't be there because of
couldn't afford it.
the damn resale ticket prices were outrageous. But it show was pretty good. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about all the stuff that happened there. I'm joined by a buddy of mine named Chan, who also did the "How Did You Become a Wrestling Fan" video with me. So be sure to check that out on my channel. Don't
Hi.
forget to like this video if you enjoy it, and to get more recaps and reviews, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any future uploads. So I know we talked a little bit about Bad Blood like after we watched the show. And I gave it a pretty generous ranking, but after I sat on it, I've thought more about it. My rankings come down a little bit.
Uh-huh.
My score, when it was fresh in my head and recency bias, I gave it like an 8.5. I think it's more comfortably a 7.5
I can see
event.
that.
I could maybe go as low as 7, but I think I'll just give it a 7.5 just because the Hell in a Cell was just that damn good. So,
Yeah.
and they for some reason started the show off with Hell in a Cell, which I still do not understand.
Yeah.
I mean,
That definitely should have main evented for sure.
yeah, I mean, we'll get into the main event, but I mean, the content of the main event, although great, and the end of the show, although great, it was not better than anything that happened within that cell. So, and I don't understand how they opened the show with the one feud that more than any other feud on that card personified the name of the show, Bad Blood. Makes no sense to me.
No.
I mean, what other feud on that card has had this kind of build that Drew and Punk had? I mean, this is a rivalry that's been brewing since the Rumble. And honestly, in my opinion, this this could easily be called the best storyline, the best feud of the year.
Oh, absolutely.
I think the only one that comes close to it is the Rock Roman Cody story from Mania season.
I
Um,
saw earlier that on Cage match, Punk and Drew was like 20 or 21st like greatest rated like WWE match of all time.
that's crazy. It was
On
great.
match.
Yeah, I mean, it's believable. Um, I mean, that was a Hell in a Cell match for the ages. I
Oh yeah.
could easily put that Hell in a Cell match easily in my top 5, maybe even my top 3. And I mean, anybody would be forgiven for saying they think it's the best Hell in a Cell ever.
Yeah.
You know,
It was so good.
whether I do or don't agree with that particular statement, I mean, anybody could be forgiven for thinking that.
Right.
I mean, there's been a lot of great Hell in a Cell matches, but that was definitely up there with the upper echelon of some of the greatest of all time. And the fact that it was backed by such a well thought out and well executed storyline only served to help it. I mean, and
Definitely.
apparently Drew got legitimately busted open.
Oh, I saw that.
Like, had staples in his head and everything. Like, I mean, Punk and Drew were bleeding in this match, which, I mean, we knew, we were like, they gotta bleed in this match. This feud is the heat that these two guys have with each other is too big to not bleed.
Yes.
And I mean, Drew bled a freaking river of blood, like, and apparently it
Bro,
came
look.
from the toolbox shot.
Yeah. I don't
It,
know if he just didn't cover his head or what, but
I don't know, like maybe he caught more of the edge of it than we thought.
or maybe the hinge.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, something happened there because I was like, surely the blunt end of the toolbox wouldn't have busted him open like that.
Right.
So he had to have caught the hinge or the edge of the box or something, because he bled significantly more than Punk did. I could see Drew. I could see Drew not being on TV for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
He may be written
I
off for the rest of the year. May come back at the Rumble.
That'd be glorious. Number 30, Drew McIntyre,
Yeah,
and then wins the Rumble. Oh
I
my
could
God.
easily see that happening. Punk is probably going to try and start to set his sights on the world title, since that's what he's hinted at before.
Well, that seems like the best way for them to move on.
Yeah.
Let Punk start something new and give Drew some time off. But
Yeah.
this has been like the best year to me Drew's ever had.
Oh, for sure. Drew set. I mean, Drew was already like a great talent, and he was already a great star. But this feud in particular, I mean, cemented him as one of the greatest of all times.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know, regardless of how somebody personally feels about him or how they would subjectively rank them on their own list, he's in the conversation. Because, I mean, this whole year from him has just been a masterclass in storytelling.
Yes.
Like I said, the only story this year that even comes close to rivaling it is the Rock, Roman, and Cody feud from Mania season. So, because, I mean, the final boss stuff was obviously excellent.
Yes.
So that's the only thing that even comes close. You know, and I could understand if this is anybody's favorite feud because it was just so well handled. And
True.
let me say that when he grabbed that bag of what we thought was thumbtacks, dumped all the beads, the bracelet beads, onto Punk, that one shot, that one subversion of expectation meant more than any bag of thumbtacks or any thumbtack spot could have.
Yes.
Like, that was so crazy. That's how you subvert expectations the right way. People think, oh, he's about to dump a bunch of tacks, and it's like, wait a minute, that's not tacks. It's like, oh, and it's the meaning behind that is masterclass of storytelling. The last time I saw a Hell in a Cell match that had storytelling this good, you could say maybe Rhodes versus Rollins with the torn pec, but I think that had great storytelling. But I think that was more of just a spectacle because of the context of the fact that Rhodes' pec was torn.
Right.
I think the last time there was a Hell in a Cell match that had storytelling this significant was Triple H versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That was the last Hell in a Cell match I saw that, you know, the storytelling carried the match. Like, the cell was almost an afterthought because the story was just so good. And, I mean, this is how you do a Hell in a Cell match.
Yes. God, it was so good.
Violent, story-driven, used to put a exclamation point at the end of a heated rivalry.
Yeah. I'm still pretty sure they were robbed of the main event.
Yes,
Just the more I think about it, the more
yes,
I'm like,
even with the context of what did happen at the end of the show, this should have closed the show. Because it set the tone for the rest of the show, and nobody could follow it.
Oh, no.
Not a single... And you knew, when you saw this, you knew no other match on this card is going to be able to follow this and deliver.
Right.
On the expectations laid forth by this match. I mean, I'm not even a Punk fan. So the fact that I'm praising his performance in this match so highly says something about how good it was.
Yeah.
Like, man. And honestly, you know, we pretty much all agreed, as much as I would have liked Drew to win, Punk kind of needed the win more.
Yeah.
You know, you can't, you know, he had the big comeback story and everything. You can't have him lose his first major feud.
No.
It's just going to destroy his credibility, whereas Drew, after the year he's had, will be just fine.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when
Drew,
he comes back, he's a made man.
Oh, absolutely.
And
then it's going to be go time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, I would absolutely love a triple threat at Mania between Drew, Rollins, and Punk.
Yes.
If not that, if we do want to say this is it for Punk and Drew and they just never cross paths again, that's fine. We can still get Rollins versus Punk at Mania, hopefully. Because there's potential there for almost just as heated of a feud. Like,
yeah.
You know, and it's going to be different because of the type of performer that Rollins is. So I'm very much looking forward to the story that Seth and Punk eventually tell.
Yes.
Especially, I mean, because Seth's my guy. Seth's one of my favorites in the company, right? If not my favorite in the company right now. I mean, he's definitely up there. So I've said several times, I think Seth Rollins is this generation's Shawn Michaels. A guy who can go in that ring like nobody else on that roster, but maybe wasn't necessarily always the absolute biggest draw. He was like the guy without, he was the guy, but not the guy.
Yeah.
After the Hell in a Cell was potty break time. Bayley and Nia Jax. There's so little I can even say about this match because we spent half the match on our phones.
Yeah.
Like,
3 on the phones and 1 asleep.
Yeah, my wife fell asleep, and the other 3 of us were on our phones for half the match. I think the only part of the match we watched was the ending.
And not on purpose. I tried to watch, but I was just like,
It's so uninteresting.
But yeah, I mean, it could have been amazing, and it still would not have lived up to having to follow the Hell in a Cell.
Exactly.
It helped that it wasn't amazing.
I think it was also hurt by putting after Hell in a Cell because it's like you put what everybody is expecting to already be the weakest match on the card after the greatest match on the card. That's a gamble.
Unless they knew it was the weakest and they were like, well, we don't want to hurt the others.
Right. And then that's possible. I mean, but anytime Nia Jax is on my screen, I'm just completely disinterested. I don't care who she's in there
I really
with.
feel bad for Bayley.
Like, Nia Jax being in a rivalry with Rhea Ripley would be the only way to make me not watch Rhea Ripley.
God.
Like, that's how little I like Nia Jax. Like, nothing about her makes me want to see her on my TV. Like, I just don't want it. I mean, to the point to where, like, we have Nielsen boxes hooked up to our TVs in here. And when Nia Jax is on my TV, I sign all of us out. Just so that there's a small dip when she's on TV. And then I sign us all back in as soon as she leaves.
I was hoping it was going to be Tiffy time, but I guess not yet.
Odd choice not to have that happen, because like that might have been the one thing that could have saved that match. Like having it end in a promising way.
Right.
And I think it would have kept the momentum of the show going at least, better than how it did.
Yeah.
I mean, the half of the match I saw was neither good or bad. It was just there. Of all the matches on the card, it was one of them.
It was just a SmackDown match.
Yeah, I mean, Bayley's good, but she was never the best out of the horsewomen. So even Bayley could not save that match.
Right.
After that was what? Priest and Balor?
Yes.
Interesting thing about this match. I don't remember hardly anything from it. I was very excited about this match, and I liked the match when I watched it. I don't remember a thing from it.
I enjoyed it. And someone who is I'm a big Finn Balor fan. Have
Same.
become a big Damian Priest fan.
Same.
But Finn just all he knows is L's.
I mean, people are starting to call him Pin Balor.
Yeah.
Because
dude,
all he does is take L's.
Bro has tried masks. He's tried the demon, and he just loses.
Like, we said that Hell in a Cell had the right winner. This match had the wrong winner.
Yes.
Now I understand it. I understand the reason to have Damian win because clearly they want to keep him strong, and there's not much you can do to Balor to make him lose any more credibility. Because one, he's lost so many matches. Balor is still popular despite having lost so many matches. The big credibility loss was when the Demon lost to Edge back at Mania.
Yes.
But
yes.
Balor himself is safe in a loss, but I think he needed it more than Damian did.
I think he should have won without any Judgment Day interference.
Even if he had won with the interference, at least it'd have been a win.
It's true.
Bro, how are you going to have the interference and still get pinned?
Right.
That's
all it did was hurt him more.
if Damian was gonna win, he should have won without any Judgment Day interference on Finn's behalf. Because
Yes.
at least then he beat him in a one-on-one match. Finn didn't have any help. But bro, Finn had help and still lost.
Yeah.
That just made Finn look worse. It and like Finn should have won and they should have had a rematch where then Damian could win. Finn just needs a credible win. They got to balance it out a little bit. He's done nothing but take L's. He's got a tag title belt that they never defend.
Right.
And I don't know. It's frustrating to be a Finn Balor fan right now.
Yes.
Especially when you consider he was the first ever Universal Champion and had to give it up on Raw. So he never got a true world
24
title
whole
reign.
hours.
Exactly. He never got a true world title reign. It's hard to be a Finn Balor fan right now. Because we are not eating good on that front.
No.
I remember the match being good. I remember liking the match when I watched it. I just don't remember anything notable from the match other than JD getting sent into the atmosphere by Priest.
Yeah. Yeah. Bro joined SpaceX.
Like JD, every time he's out there, he dies for our sins.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I never liked JD. But because of his tendency to oversell and just get folded, I'm starting to like JD.
Yes.
It's the same thing with like some other characters like Dom. I don't like Dom because of his ring work. I like Dom because he's entertaining.
Yes. Oh my God. I can't wait to talk about him in a
minute. Which does bring me to the next match, which of course was Rhea and Liv, which was one of the better matches on the card. That had a very deflating ending.
Yes, match was very, very good until the ending. It was entertaining. It was a good match. It was entertaining. Dom was entertaining.
Yep.
And then the ending just...
Dom's sitting down in the cage because he's like afraid of heights and everything. I mean, that was
hilarious.
Gold. That was so funny.
When he fell, I was like, "Oh God!"
I thought bro was about to land on his head.
Me too. I thought he was actually falling.
Well, that actually scared me. Which actually, we got to backtrack for a second. We got to talk about that bump Drew took in Hell in a Cell.
Ooh.
We got to talk about that bump he took on the edge of the stairs.
I physically cringed.
Same. Every time they showed it, I cringed. I was like,
yes.
I've had back problems before. I've hurt my back in wrestling before. That hurt me so bad to watch. Because I'm just like, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, there's no way he meant to take that bump. You cannot make me believe he meant to take that bump.
Maybe he didn't shoot it enough or overshot it. I don't know.
I don't know if he undershot, overshot.
Lumbar.
What? That's to me. I mean, maybe he's just built different.
Maybe.
But to me, that's not a bump you willingly agree to take because it can permanently damage you. Like, that was so nasty to look at.
We had noticed that when the ref came over, Drew wasn't squeezing his hands, and we were like, "Oh no, Drew screwed up."
Like the referee, you can see the referee's like touching on his lower back, like to make sure he can still feel it back there. It's crazy. Like I was so worried for Drew.
Yes.
I was so worried. But anyways, back to the Rhea and Liv match.
Yeah.
The match was good. Liv's firing on all cylinders nowadays.
Yes. I've always liked Liv, but this is like some of her best work.
I mean, she's more deserving of that title now by leagues more deserving of that title now than she was when she won it from Ronda.
Yes.
And
I agree.
Rhea's always just been
good.
That kind of person. Like she's always been good. From the moment she finally found herself in NXT and started being herself, she's, you just knew she was going to be a star. The thing I think that sets Rhea apart is she is hands down, men or women, the best seller in the company.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about overselling, just straight up selling. She sells everything like death without it being comical.
Yes.
And it's just immaculate how well she can sell anything. I mean, the way she can sell a DDT, for example, it's like it just completely knocks her out. It's like she goes like stiff-boarded and gets knocked out. Like It's crazy how good she is in that ring. It's a shame we don't get to see her perform on Raw more often.
Yeah,
You know,
she really doesn't wrestle that much when you actually look at it.
no, they clearly view her as a special attraction. She
Yeah,
does pretty much only PLEs, and she'll do matches at like live events. But when it comes to like the greater TV audience, it seems like they just want to keep her saved for the big shows.
right,
I mean, I get it. It's just disappointing as a Rhea fan to not get to watch her wrestle more, knowing how good she is.
right.
Because when she doesn't wrestle is when you start seeing people on Twitter and stuff start to talk about her being overrated. That's when people
Yeah,
start to forget how good she is. And then she
yes,
has to go out there every month for a PLE and remind them how good she is.
right.
But Dom in the cage sitting down the whole time because he's afraid of heights and then kicking the door open. I'm like, Dom, what you doing, right?
Yeah, bro, stay up there, bro.
Like I guess he hooked up the strap to his leg while in there.
I
Um,
guess.
and then like he tumbled out and it got caught is dangling by his leg. That hurt me a little bit too because I'm like, I know that snatch on his leg hurt a little bit.
Yeah, that and then when Liv took that riptide straight on the floor, I know that hurt.
Yes. Oh my god. That's a stiff bump to take. Uh and Rhea going out there to beat Dom like a pinata.
That was hilarious.
And like and the referee, people have been on Twitter been talking about that referee. They're like, bro, how can this referee just allow this?
Bro was like, sure, go ahead. You deserve it.
I think people forget that within the confines of kayfabe, the referee is all powerful.
Yeah.
He is the ultimate authority while that match is going on, and everything that happens is at his or her discretion.
Yes.
I mean,
So I rewatched that the way that match ended,
yeah.
and I couldn't tell if the ref screwed up or if Raquel screwed up. It's like the ref wasn't supposed to see Raquel. I don't know if she came in early or the ref. I'm not sure.
Are you talking about with the fact that Raquel dragged Liv onto Rhea?
Yeah, and they and like
That maybe she was
you
under the
could see the
impression.
ref like the ref saw Raquel hit Rhea, and you could see him quickly turn, and he just walked toward the ring, and then just like stared at the ring. It's like,
bro hit the NPC.
yeah,
Became
yeah,
an
that's what I'm
NPC.
saying. It's like I don't know if he was like, oh God, I wasn't supposed to see that, and then they just rung the bell
Yeah,
anyway.
just had to call an audible because it's like, well, I
Yeah,
can't shrug this off.
yeah. So I'm not sure which one screwed
Yeah, I
up.
mean, maybe that's why Raquel drug Liv onto Rhea for the pin. Maybe she was under the impression that that's how it was supposed to end, that she was just supposed to get Liv the pin.
Yeah,
I don't know, and we'll probably never know for certain, but
no,
that was the most deflating thing about the match was Raquel returning.
yes,
I mean, she returned to crickets.
yeah. It
Because
it literally got quieter.
like they thought it was going to be a big deal. No one's been into Raquel like this since she came to the main roster. She had a small following on NXT, but like when she
Yeah,
came to the main roster, you know, it was small fish in a big pond.
right.
You know, and we've said it 1,000 times about Raquel. Your whole thing can't be your back looks good when there's at least 5 other women on the roster whose backs look better.
Right.
Like
Rhea's back is better.
Rhea's back is better. Jade's back is better. Bianca's back is better. Even Tiffany
Er,
Stratton's back is
Tiffany.
better.
Yes.
Like when your thing can't be my back looks good anymore. Like
Yeah,
um
I don't know.
I've never been a big fan of Raquel. I don't think she's that good. She's a charisma black hole. There's just nothing about her that's entertaining to me. She doesn't know who she is. She doesn't have a character. She doesn't have a good on-screen personality. She just and you can tell it when she was, doing her last babyface run with Liv. You could tell she doesn't know who she is.
Right.
She's just kind of there, smile and wave, but she doesn't know who she is. Hopefully she can turn this around being a heel. I'd like to see her turn
Well, yeah.
it around.
Yeah.
But I'm not optimistic about it. That the ending was just one of the most deflating experiences I've seen in a match in a while. And it knocked a few points off of the show as a whole. Because you had a stellar match, and this ending, it completely took the wind out of the sails of the match.
It really did, and I saw earlier, Punk and Drew were so high on Cage Match. Liv and Rhea match has like 3 out of 10.
Wow. And the match itself wasn't even that bad. It wasn't.
No,
It wasn't bad at all, actually. The
the
ending
match
just
itself
sucked.
was actually really good.
Yeah. I mean, it's clearly all in an attempt to protect Rhea,
Yeah,
to protect her credibility, to not let her get straight up pinned by Liv. Clearly, they didn't want Liv to drop the title yet. I hope, I really hope this feud between Rhea and Liv doesn't go on much longer, because I'm starting to kind of get over it.
yeah,
And to be honest, I'm far less interested in a Rhea and Raquel rivalry.
yeah,
It just does not interest me. At least right now, it doesn't. They could turn that around. Um, I don't know. After Liv and after Raquel, I don't know where Rhea goes after that. There's no other credible women on the roster really for her to face, on the Raw roster, anyways.
yeah. They may just have to shake it up after WrestleMania.
Yeah, I hope that rivalry does not go to WrestleMania. And I saw the video. She hopes it doesn't either.
Yeah,
um, I just don't know. I don't know what they do, because I think it's going to be like, I think it's real likely that we get Bianca and Jade at Mania. So
yeah,
I don't think we're going to get Rhea and Bianca. The only way I see us getting Rhea versus Bianca at something like Mania is if Rhea gets that title back and Bianca wins the Rumble, or vice versa.
right.
But I don't know that it would be a good idea to have Rhea win the Rumble again. Um, I mean, I'd be fine with it. I'm just thinking about how I know how internet wrestling fans are.
Yeah,
They don't tend to like it when anybody wins one of those match types more than once, it seems. The exception being Cody.
yeah,
Um, so I don't know. I don't know what they do about that, because I've seen people complain. People seem to be under the impression that the only purpose the Rumble and like Money in the Bank serve are to create new stars. And that's not the only purpose. They're very
right,
useful for creating new stars, but their purpose is to tell stories like anything else in this industry.
right.
And if it fits the confines and the context of the story, it doesn't matter who wins it, so long as it fits the context of the story they're trying to tell.
Yeah,
So I don't know where they go with Rhea after this. The main event, I think the main event was solid. I think
yeah,
it started really slow.
yeah. It got better as it went on for sure.
Yeah, it had a very,
Um,
very slow start.
I
Um,
still just don't think it should have been invented. I really
no,
don't.
100% not. That honestly should have opened.
Yeah, but
Given
Dwayne stole another one of Punk's main events
even
just
with
to come
even
out,
with
stand
the
there, and raise his eyebrow.
even with the Rock, like, they could have opened with that, and like the Rock returning in the opening match, that would have also set a great tone for the show.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't think they understand that, but
Oh,
this definitely seems like a Rock power move.
yeah. Before we continue, do you want to talk about the historic announcement Triple H made, which was
Oh yeah,
before the main event?
I had blocked it
I
out,
tried to,
but yeah.
yeah, I tried to forget about it.
Yeah,
We can just touch on it real quick.
the
It's trash. That's all I got to say about it.
the title, the championship, the Saudi Arabia championship that he unveiled, that will be won by whoever wins between a world champion versus WWE champion match at Crown Jewel.
Hmm.
Their titles are not up for grab, but this ugly, vast championship is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's trash.
Nobody asked for this.
No one
Nobody
asked for
wanted
it, except for clearly that Saudi prince.
Who probably gave them
And
an
I mean,
absurd amount of money.
I get it. WWE's not dumb enough to turn down that bag.
Oh no,
Um,
I don't blame them. I just think it's retarded.
but I mean, and we talked about this. This makes me concerned for Monday, for tomorrow.
Oh no,
Because
I don't talk about it.
I'm sitting there. I'm like, there's no way they can do Gunther versus Rhodes, because it doesn't benefit either of them to lose. It could
Right.
actually really hurt either of them if they lose, both of them. Because it's like, you can't have Cody lose. He's the guy. He's your guy. You can't have him lose. You don't want Gunther to lose either, because he's your other guy. Like, he's your one of your top heels, and he's supposed to be dominant. You can't have him lose
Right.
either. It makes Gunther look bad, and it makes it look like they just gave a win to Cody. So it makes me worried that Sammy's going to win that title tomorrow.
If I told the internet how I feel about Sami Zayn, I would get canceled.
That's a whole nother video.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna touch it.
That's a whole nother video. That we'll cover it someday. We'll do a hot takes video.
Boy, I
uh,
got some.
uh, I mean, even KJ, who's a Sammy fan, agrees he doesn't want Sammy to win that belt. Not tomorrow. Not from
No,
Gunter. I
not
don't
ever.
I don't like the idea of Sammy being Gunter's kryptonite.
No.
You know, I'm okay with Sammy eventually winning the title because I don't think he'll have a long reign regardless. I'm okay with that. I'm just not okay with him being Gunter's kryptonite.
No, I would much rather like Ilya be
Yes.
Gunther's kryptonite.
Like it just doesn't sit well with me, but it makes sense if they end up going this direction because Sammy can afford a loss to Cody.
Right.
And they'll put on a stellar match because Sammy's a good performer. They'll put on a great match, but Sammy, he can definitely afford a loss to Cody because he's a guy who's used to taking L's.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make him look any worse. It's just, Cody's just the better man. What bugs me about the whole Sammy thing is I'm just tired because all of his feuds are the same. He's the underdog. Oh, nobody believes in him. It's just
Yeah,
the
he's
same.
champion.
It's the same thing over and over and over again. I'm over the whole nobody believes in Sam. He's got to prove the haters wrong story. I'm over it. But I could also see him winning the title on Raw because then he and Jay, who broke away from the bloodline, would be doing very well for themselves. Both of them having won a major singles title. I could see that being a part of the storyline going forward. I think
Right.
both of them will lose their belts before being roped back into the bloodline story, which I think both of them will be.
Uh-huh.
But the main event itself, I think, was solid. Slow start. Jacob Fatu outshines Solo in every facet.
Like normal. Jacob, oh my, he's got that aura. He's everything that they wanted Solo to be.
Yep, and Solo, I mean, the non-kayfabe chants have begun. The "you can't wrestle" chants. That's bad.
Oh, that's so bad.
That's very bad for Solo. Because
Yeah.
once they start the non-kayfabe chants, not many people can take that moving forward and still succeed despite it.
Right.
The only people I've seen succeed despite that are Cena and Roman.
Yeah.
Um,
Solo is just not that guy.
and that's the thing is the chance for Roman like that stopped when he became the tribal chief.
Yeah.
The chance like that didn't stop for Cena until he went away.
Yeah.
Until he started doing, late career feuds like with AJ and stuff like that. Cena is one of the few guys who was able to succeed despite those chances because he took it in stride and just made it work for himself. Solo can't survive that because he's not good enough to.
Yeah.
He's not good enough in that ring. He's not good enough on that mic to be able to do it. He doesn't have enough charisma or aura to survive that if it continues. So
Right.
either he needs to massively improve or they need to pivot this storyline soon.
Yes. They got to do something.
Because Solo's just not hacking it as the tribal chief.
No.
Roman, masterclass as always. Everything he does is gold.
Yes.
Cody.
And I thought Cody did excellent too.
Cody performed well as he typically does. Ending with the table spot for Cody was a good call.
Cody Rhodes signing off.
The Jimmy Uso return was a nice swerve. I didn't expect that, and when that happened, nobody thought The Rock was showing.
Right.
So
Yeah, because we were like, don't tell me this main event is for Jimmy to return. Surely there's more.
Yeah, it was a nice swerve. They got us with that, and it was a nice return, and it made me feel good to see Roman and Jimmy embrace.
Yes.
I thought that was a nice touch to include. What I'm curious, The Rock came out after obviously Roman and Cody won the tag match because how could you not? You can't have them lose. Not to those
Right.
yahoos, but
No.
The Rock comes out and they seem confused about why he's here and everything. The Rock comes out with that bum ass People's Championship.
That fake ass championship,
And
bro.
look, I gotta clarify for anyone who does watch this video, I am a massive fan of The Rock. Like, you'd be hard pressed to find too many people that like The Rock more than me. And I've always been a massive fan of The Rock, despite what others say. But he carrying around this bum ass fake championship because bro's just gotta have a belt. It's but at this point it's just funny to me. Like,
Yeah.
because now I feel like he's doing it because he knows it triggers people.
Yes.
So it's just playing into his heel character. He came back, and The Rock doesn't have to say anything to electrify. That's what makes him so great. He comes out and he counted to 3, didn't he?
Yeah.
Did he count to 3 or 4?
To 3.
Okay, yeah, because I thought he counted to 3 and then he did 4-1, and then did the like cut across his neck.
I rewatched that clip earlier, and he just counted to 3.
Okay.
Some people were like, "That was Roman's 3 strikes."
Yeah,
You lose the belt.
I've seen
you
that.
Cody, then you help Cody.
Yep, I've seen some people theorize that. I've seen some people theorize that he's referring to maybe a triple threat match at Mania.
Yeah.
We won't know until The Rock allows us to know.
Right.
You know, we just won't know. You know, because I was sitting here thinking, okay, Rock comes back, maybe he faces Cody at Survivor Series. We know it's not going to happen at Crown Jewel because Cody's going to be facing whoever the world champion is.
Yeah.
So we're like, maybe he faces Cody at Survivor Series, and the War Games match is OG Bloodline versus New Bloodline. I don't know.
No idea.
But given what happened after the show on social media with Kevin Owens attacking Cody, I no longer think that. It seems much more likely we're going to get another Cody and Kevin Owens match, this time with a heel Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Some people didn't like that they didn't televise that. I thought it was genius.
I love it.
I mean, it makes things feel more real.
Yeah. Because I just opened Twitter,
Yeah.
and Triple H posted about we're aware of an incident that happened last night between Cody and Kevin. With
Right.
Cody and Kevin, this will be dealt with internally.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, you know,
Triple H is really good at blurring the lines of kayfabe and reality in his storylines.
And now I'm seeing a video of when Roman ran over Kevin with a golf cart. People are like, y'all wonder why he turned on Cody. It's a good point.
I mean, Kevin Owens been fighting the bloodline since like the Trump administration. Like,
Bro's tired of it.
I mean, I get it, bro. I get it. I saw somebody message Randy Orton on Twitter saying, it's like, 2 of your buddies are fighting in the parking lot. You may want to do something about that.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see where this leads. I thought it was genius that they did it for social media, knowing that there were going to be fans back there, and it was going to spread via word of mouth.
Yeah.
And through cell phone videos and stuff. Like, that was genius because it makes it feel real and authentic.
Yeah.
I can't wait for them to dive into this on SmackDown. And then, you know, Rock cut a promo leaving the show as well. It was a typical Rock promo. I think there were a couple times he had trouble figuring out what he was going to say.
Yeah.
I think he was trying to cut a really long promo for the whole walk, and he just didn't have enough content to say for the entire time of the walk. Because there were some times...
like, are you a fan of The Rock?
Yeah, hell yeah, you are.
If The Rock had a sister, he'd hook you up.
There's a few times where it just looks like he's searching for words.
Yeah.
I love The Rock. I love The Rock, bro. But it was a typical final boss promo. I missed it. I love the exchange he did in between the trucks. The Stone Cold picture, the Dusty Rhodes picture. Love you, hate your son. Told the John Cena picture he needs to go eat some Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah.
That was a callback. I loved at the end of the video, he planned to just drive off, but there was a car in front of him, so he had to stop.
Yeah.
And then the camera followed him. And he just looks at the camera. And then he drives off. It's like nothing about that promo went as he intended.
No. And then he's live. He's like, fuck it, we'll do it live.
And like, you could barely hear him over the ZZ Top music. Like, started playing music and barely hear him cut the promo. Like, oh man.
The only thing that promo needed was that marching band to come back and just start playing over it.
Yes. Oh man, I loved it because of just how disjointed it felt.
Yes.
Like I was just laughing through the whole promo. Um, Overall, I think I give Bad Blood a 7.5 out of 10. The high points really save it, but I think as an overall show, it was one of the weaker shows of the year.
I agree.
Um, last night I was like, oh yeah, solid 8/10. But after thinking about it, I was like, I'm really just kind of basing it on the ending and the beginning. like,
Yeah.
so I was like, the whole middle, you know, the Balor and Damian match just wasn't super memorable. The Bailey and Nia Jax match was Bailey and Nia Jax. Enough said. Um, and the Rhea and Liv match had a completely deflating ending. So the beginning and
Yeah,
the
for an
end,
otherwise good match.
yeah. So the beginning and the ending of the show was really the best things about the show. So
Yes.
I mean, I think even as a total show, Bash in Berlin was better. Um, I think a lot of shows of the year as total shows were better events.
Yeah.
Uh, so I give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. Um, so thank you to anyone who watched this review. I'm going to try to stay up to date and constant on these recap reviews for these WWE shows, and hopefully in the near future we'll be able to start dropping these reviews like within an hour or so after the show ends, rather than the next day.
I'll just wait for the hot takes video.
That's going to be interesting. Don't forget to subscribe, especially if you want to see the hot takes video. Please check out our discussion video. How did you become a wrestling fan? A lot of the content on here is going to be sort of podcast style, but I got a lot of other stuff in the works. So don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and thank you for watching.